powerhouse, amazing lady, and we are talking today about how to express your leadership powers. My ask of you is, would it be okay if you are all in today and you are focusing totally on you and your experience, because you cannot express any leadership power if you are not totally in your body and standing strong in your shoes. Well, firstly, would that be okay? Yes? All in. So I want this to be interactive. It will be a working session. But what I am all about is how we think and how we feel about ourselves, our business, our lives. And I have a background in science, in biochemistry, and I focus my coaching and teaching very much on sales skills and sales strategy and leadership. And mental toughness is something that I will talk about. It's a very powerful psychology model I use, and it's a way of measuring our cognitive tendencies right now. So I'll go into a bit of that. But I am all about changing how we lead. I don't think anyone's going to argue that the world needs a whole different leadership team. Our leaders are failing us. But how do we make better decisions? How do we use data better? How do we impact ourselves, our business, our people, and our planet so we can be that positive energy and create sustainable positive change? So I'm going to take you on a journey, and this is the journey of my business career, my life, and it's a journey I find we all take as we take this journey through life. And we start with, what is that catalyst for change? Because we know that change is inevitable, but progress is not. So this is only relevant for people who want to progress, who have a goal, who want something they haven't got now, right? And this is often what I see in business owners, in people in corporate life in the middle who don't really see themselves as leaders. See yourself as a leader from this minute, this second, because you are the leader of your life. And if you don't own that, you can't possibly influence others to the extent if you don't see yourself as that powerhouse. Where are you going? Have you nominated your mountaintop? Have you nominated what your thing is that you want to do in the world? And are you on the right bus? Are you driving your own bus? So these are powerful questions for reflection, that if they don't stimulate you, that's okay too. You don't have to be constantly stimulated. But you know, if there's something stirring in you, there is work to be done. And it's the most worthwhile work you will ever do. So when we are stimulated, when that catalyst is stirring and starts to burn, we're thrown naturally into problem solving. We're thrown naturally into researching. We are searching the internet. We are searching ways to be more effective, to get our message out. That's why we're all here. We want to learn, we want to grow. Look, what's the right type of change to make? What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to overcome? This is not an overnight clarity session. This is a journey. But what happens is, if we persist, we do come to a point where an idea holds. It becomes clear what that breakthrough is. And it might still be muddy, but there's an inkling. But just make a decision. This is a decision point we need to make. We cannot keep researching and educating without actually making a decision about what we're going to take action on. So today, many of you said you're here to learn. You want to learn more about leadership. I say take that a step further. What is it that will make possible for you? What action do you want to take? What change do you want to make? What do you want to do differently? Or what results do you want to be different? You need to be outcomes focused whenever you come into an education session. Otherwise, it's just another nice meetup. And as nice as it is, unless we set an intention, we will be bamboozled with lovely feelings and education, but we're not clear at the end what action we're going to take. But when we do start, choose one idea, follow that through, we plan, we do, we review, we test, we measure, we tweak, repeat. We stay on that path, and this is often where I'm working with people. They've often got their idea, they're often in motion, and they're on that treadmill. And this is the transformation work, which really should be a much bigger part of the pie, right? Because this is messy. This is 3 steps forward and 10 steps back. This is failing. This is getting depressed. This is really falling into the depths. Often we suffer a lot of financial loss before we get financial gain. And that's painful. It's what we need to let go of in order to move forward. So this is a really big piece. But essentially, they're the steps that we're doing. And when we do that, the feedback we get from our plan, do, review process is going to direct us what direction to take. And we will come in and into our power, right? We cannot not come into our power if we persist. But we do it in an intentional, reflective way. And that's where my type of coaching, the coaching psychology work, which is the science and the theories behind leadership and human behavior and goal setting, we need that scientific approach. And that's the point of difference I bring to the table. And really, none of us would be here if we didn't want our time and our work to make positive change in the world. So what does leadership power look like? When we are truly in our power, and remember, this is a journey, and we can put ourselves there in a heartbeat. We can absolutely change our state in a heartbeat, but we must take action in the direction of our goal, or that feeling disappears and we're in the pit. When we're in our power and purpose, it takes work for most of us to know what power and purpose is for us. But when we are in it, we are getting and giving the respect and recognition for ourselves first. We must honour ourselves. And only when we honour ourselves are we then going to naturally be in an abundant mindset to be able to honour and celebrate others. If we're not respecting and recognising ourselves for our place in the world and our contribution to positive change, very hard to be lifting someone up genuinely. And I think this is one of the big issues with women supporting women, is that we are in such a scarcity mindset as a community. Why are there not more women in leadership? It's not just because it's a male-dominated world and there's systemic biases and horrible systems. We don't own our power long enough and firm enough, and we don't do enough of the work to express it in a way so that we are understood. So this is a huge piece of work to do. And then the money will come. The recognition will come, the invitations will come. And this is to Oldwin's point, where she has worked tirelessly at providing platforms and support for others to shine, and she's now being recognised for that. And she's now being asked, tell us about you, the woman behind this amazing movement, Mass Media Mastery. I mean, that is not 5 minutes of showing up on social media or having a couple of meetups. Oldwin's been relentless with this in the 3 or 4 years. So know that it's a journey and it's not 5 minutes, but you absolutely can recreate and reconnect with your internal power in a heartbeat, definitely. But what qualifies me to teach and coach about leadership, like my theme is ex-corporate athlete, and I definitely want to get a meme or something around that, because I've been a sports person and a runner and a driver in corporate sales, and I've always worked in male-dominated environments, and quite frankly, it never bothered me. And a lot of the women who do, quite frankly, it didn't bother them either. So, and I was working in selling very complex high-ticket solutions in the healthcare and medical technology space. So this naturally has drawn me into the science of success, the science of coaching psychology. So it was 5 years ago I completed that. So that gives me the baseline to now develop and deliver programs, coaching programs for leadership and sales. So I'm drawing on all my background there. And I've always been a pretty tough cookie, but mental toughness is the profile that I work with, so that's a lot of what I teach. And I'm also a lifelong investor in learning. I would have invested at least $500,000 over the years. But this was me strutting my stuff in my Master's of Coaching Psychology degree, where 75 of us all had 7 minutes to present a project on ourselves, like a research project on ourselves in a peak performance class. So I was second to last, right? So I had to entertain. So I channeled Hogwarts. I was doing abracadabras and putting spells on people. I delivered my material and I entertained. So that was absolutely a highlight of my career. And everybody in the class remembers me years later for that. So this is now coming back to you. And are you a leader? There comes a time in every person's life. I'm actually even looking at like not distinguishing male and female now. It's like I've gone beyond that. But these are some powerful questions that I find when we ask ourselves. This serves to tell us what we care about. Does what I do make a difference? Is it important to me that I make money solving a problem that matters to me? Now, not everybody needs to do meaningful work. They really don't. And that's okay if they are happy to turn up to a job to then pay the mortgage and find meaning in other areas of the work. That's fine. But this is like a qualifier for you, whether you are wanting a career change or whether there's something to step up and louder in your work. Do you want to make a difference and make money making a difference, right? So we're connecting profit and money with passion and purpose. And as women particularly, this is an area we can get better at. Am I paid my worth? How well do I negotiate to earn my professional value? And again, especially as solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, as coaches, people delivering services, this is also the balance between what your market pays. Like I can charge a corporate a very different amount of money to deliver the same material as I would a startup founder. And so you've got to look at the realities of your marketplace. Are you cutting through with your message around your vision, mission, message? And because if you're not cutting through, your environment is telling you that. If you're turning up on social media and no one's engaging, or if your letters and emails out to journos and you're not getting any responses, sing out for help. You're not cutting through. Don't just sit there and think you'll get better on your own. And are you thriving? And this one is particularly for the people still in corporate who can't seem to get off that treadmill because of the politics, the patriarchy, the toxicity. Stop pretending it's not there. It's real. It's real. So, but we have the choice, do we stay in those environments or not? So I got out of that environment 7 years ago because I could not stand another moment working for the man. And that's really what it takes to jump ship and let go of that paycheck to then go into the uncertainty of how do you actually make money doing what you love. And what robs us of our power? I wonder, what do you relate to? Are any of these really speaking to you? Right? Do I have a superpower? Who would choose me? I'm too old to change careers. And these are the kind of beliefs I find in my client base that they are really, really strong. They're really, really deep-rooted. And, there's a lot of belief work we can do, and there's also the power of leaving that where it is, accepting that we've got that monkey mind, we've got that saboteur, but what if we could see something different from ourselves? What if we could create our own mountaintop and a journey to get there? What if we really could get there? And this is why being in positive, action-oriented environments like this are so important. And what's the biggest thing that really stands in our way? ultimately all of those thought bubbles, what they do is build that self-doubt muscle. Who here feels they're completely clear of self-doubt? Anyone? This is kind of the human condition. We need the dark to appreciate the light. We need those negative triggers to spur us into action. When things are feeling good and everything's hunky-dory, we don't chase change. We're humans. We want to feel good. We make these negatives into the catalyst that drives you forward. And this is why working with goal-oriented people, they are the easy ones who see a goal and have a mission for themselves, but not everybody can see a goal. Not everybody, most people find it really hard to set a really meaningful, hairy, audacious goal. And again, that's where coaching and training and mentoring comes into it. But how do you know when you are overcoming that big boulder of self-doubt? Is when on a daily basis, all your work and all your life decisions are guided by your mission, not the man's mission, not the husband's mission, not the group's mission, not the team's mission, your personal mission. And that's why that work is so important to do, because you can't stand strong and stay focused on your North Star if you're not totally 100% all in with your mission. And again, that's not necessarily going to be clear up front. And you don't have to have the clarity around that. If you've got that catalyst for change rumbling, that's enough to get you on the journey. And each step is going to give you feedback that gives you information for the next step. Right? So don't worry about not being clear, but know that if you want to have a mission and vision and live by your values, this is the path that you can take. So this is for you now. If self-doubt is holding us back from that mountaintop, whatever that is for each of us, and we want it, and we know that when we're working in our mission, vision, and values, we're going to get to that mountaintop. On a scale of 1 to 10 right now, where 1 is insecure and self-doubt, and 10 is self-confident and unstoppable, give yourself a number in this moment. And it doesn't matter what it is. It might be a 3, it might be a 7, but give yourself the self-rating principle gets you to think in a data-driven way about yourself, to evaluate what you're feeling. And then you ask yourself, what is the cost for you to stay at that level? You don't have to change, right? If you're not prepared to do anything about it, but I give you permission to stay there. Right? But I also invite you to consider, just for today, just for this moment, that what might be possible if you could move yourself even 1 point, and at a stretch 2 points, up that scale from what you experience today. What would that mean for you? What would you be doing differently? What would you start doing? What would you stop doing? What would you be overcoming if you truly were on that path towards your mission, vision, and values, to your mountaintop? And this, what does it take to actually get to your mountaintop? One of the core skills of leadership power is mental toughness. And this is a psychology model of 4 main factors, so control, commitment, challenge, and confidence. And this is something we can measure. We can actually measure our level of attitude in each of these 8 pieces of the pie. And I don't have time to go into it now, but it is a fabulous coaching tool because it gives us a data-driven approach to what hinge are we going to work on to swing the biggest door. And not only that, but it also will often, you can self-rate yourself in terms of what you think in each of these things. But often when you do the diagnostic test, which is about 72 questions, it's got 100 published papers, and Peter Clough and Doug Strachich, I'm actually on the Global Research and Development board with them, and they are in their 70s. So they've been at this. They've been together since university, and they've been at this for 40 years. So it's a really deep and well-researched psychology model, and it measures our ability to perform under stress. Main point of developing higher levels of mental toughness is this is where resilience and positivity come in. We get resilience, we get more natural positivity when we are developing our mental toughness skills intentionally. And that's a lot of what my coaching work is about. And that's a definition of what they are. But this one gives you a picture of what the mental toughness assessment, one of the reports, is. So we see their overall mental toughness is a 2. That means they're highly sensitive. So someone who is highly sensitive, then, look at that. He's got a confidence level of 1, if we come down to confidence. And so he doesn't, on the inside, he is struggling. He doesn't believe in himself at all. But look what's happening in his interpersonal confidence in terms of how he is appearing to other people. So he is going to look like he's going to drive this project and he's got it all covered. But really what's happening underneath is that they can't do it. And their internal narrative is negative. So when they're under pressure, it starts to paralyze their performance. So this gives us a internal picture of what is happening in terms of how we deal with goals and stress and pressure. And all life is pressure, but leadership is about pressure. If you don't want to handle and learn how to handle pressure better, you're not going to make it as a leader. And that's okay too, because not everybody is going to want to have a leading role. We need to support people. We need the team. So there's no right or wrong. But know that the sensitivity end is where the creativity lives, where the intuitive lives, where the healing lives, where all of these beautiful traits. So we want to support those, but we've got to develop a bit of a thick skin. And that's the piece that I tend to work with on. And I work with a lot of really sensitive people. But what I want you to do now is to take yourself on a journey of what would it mean to you if you could change your state and actually own your leadership power in more instances than you don't. Because remember, we're not always going to be 100% powerful. We don't just take a pill and suddenly we're Superman. It's just not like that. We're going to oscillate all the time. We can learn the skills to up our energy back into the love and joy factor. And so Oprah Winfrey's goal is to create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe. And that's why environments like this are so important and so necessary, because we can't do this on our own. We really can't do this on our own. But just for the next couple of minutes, shall we take a journey to the end of the year? So I want you to close your eyes and let me guide you. So it's December 31st. So that is 9-10 months from now. And you have worked yourself, put priority on your highest, grandest vision possible for your life. And you are changing what you believe because you are becoming what you believe. So imagine yourself feeling proud and excited about what this new year will bring. You've made some big decisions. You've laid the groundwork. And you are now moving much closer to your ideal career, your dream business, how you're working on your terms. You've decided what your goals and your vision and your mission and your values are, and you are working towards it. You may not be right on the mountaintop, but you've made huge progress towards that, because progress is where we see ourselves succeeding and exceeding our own expectations. It's not actually always about reaching the goal, it's about the journey to get there, but we must feel like we are moving in that direction. And so when you see yourself moving and achieving and succeeding, where is your level of confidence and feeling of empowerment now? on that scale of 1 to 10. And put a number on it. Even if you're battling with the number, just put a number on it, because the numbers are what give you that visual sense of progress straight away. And my vision for each of you is that you are committing to step into your leadership power so you can create success on your terms and live each and every day in joy and power. And whatever difficulties, whatever setbacks happen during your journey, you know you can handle it. So come back in the room now. All right, would anyone else like to share? Yes, Gabriel.
Okay, well, I wanted to buy a house, so I had my house, and it felt really suddenly I got this wave of empowerment, and I put myself on a number 10, so I feel really good about it. Thank you so much.
We have to see it before we can have it, and the belief word is constant, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is constant.
It is.
Yeah, to learn more about how I work with people, and this is just a summary of some of the programs I run. So the Unlock Your Superpowers course really takes you into a deeper journey into defining your unique value proposition. And then for those people who are ready to then turn their superpowers and their business and that treadmill they're on into a profitable business, this is where my Sales Accelerator formula program comes in, where we work together over 3 to 4 months and we take a journey up to your mountaintop. And then I love doing the mental toughness assessment work. So normally that's a 90-minute Zoom where you do the mental toughness assessment, and we use that to look at your leadership gaps and plan your development and what are those hinges that are going to open those bigger, heavier doors for you. So there's sort of the 3 ways I work with people. I would do the mental toughness assessment in the 90-minute session with you in addition to this. And I'm so excited for that because I know how much that has changed my self-image and my leadership power. So I love working with people with that. And so that's the Sales Accelerator formula. But this is what I want to leave you with. There are 3 types of people. The people who make it happen, the people who watch things happen, and the people who wonder what happened. So let's not be those people, right? And I love simplicity, and I love what Olga said, simplify your message. So that sort of brings me to the conclusion today, and I'd love you just to take a moment to reflect and think, what is one thing I could do differently? So not an idea, not a concept, not I want to look at my notes, I've got to reflect through them, but what is one thing you will do differently as a result of when you leave here today? Because the biggest hint here is that our leadership power only turns up when we take action. It doesn't turn up in the books, and we need to take action. When we implement, transformation happens in implementation. That's leadership power. That's what fuels our leadership power. If we don't speak up, that's the whole thing. Start speaking, even if you don't know what you want to speak about. Get your YouTube channel up, get your interviews going, get your content right. Because what you care about will become obvious when you speak it out. So that's where I'll leave it today.